When it comes down to guns in Pixel Gun 3D, we do have a lot of them. I personally was one to always judge guns based off of what they looked like, but more importantly, how powerful they actually were. I always compared and contrasted the dozens upon dozens of weapons in the game, striving to figure out the best of the best. Over time, my opinions changed as new weapons were added in and others were taken away. However, in time, the dust has settled considerably, and it has come to rest upon several weapons far superior to all others in Pixel Gun 3D. In today's video, we are going to finally answer an age-old question all have come to wonder about. What gun is truly the best in Pixel Gun 3D? Now, to keep things slightly simpler, we will not be taking the price of the weapon into account, but rather purely the efficiency, the firing rate, and the capacity. With looking at these three stats, you may find the end result surprising. To begin, when we all first began playing Pixel Gun 3D, unless you started playing before the Halloween update of 2014, we all assumed the best two weapons in the game were the Hellraiser and the Automatic Peacemaker. They were the easiest to use, and most of the other guns in the game weren't unlockable yet, so we really had no idea what their true potential could have been. However, we were very content in the early stages of the game, where most enemy players had little to no armor on and not much player experience. It was extremely easy to get massive kill streaks with these two weapons, as they really didn't have any competition. These were some of the most popular weapons in the beginning levels of Pixel Gun 3D, and rightfully so. They looked cool, had high firing rates, were very accurate, and most importantly, got the job done. It wasn't uncommon to get 10 to 15 kills more than the second place finisher in a standard deathmatch on Nuclear City with either of these two weapons equipped, because they were just that good. However, over time, things changed. As we began to mature in the Pixel Gun world, leveling up and becoming faced with increasingly better players, the fate of the Hellraiser and the Automatic Peacemaker was apparent. They were becoming obsolete. Now, don't get me wrong, they are still very powerful weapons, even into the highest levels of the game. But after leveling up into the teens now, newer weapons became unlocked. People began equipping gold and even crystal armor, and it was becoming harder and harder to kill enemy players with these two weapons. With all of this change in pace, with new weapons being added in, and better players coming face to face, people began to experiment with the other classes in their loadouts. The class that seemed to be the ever-rising in popularity was the sniper class. People now had a decent enough skill to scope well and get headshots, which would devastate enemy players if performed consistently. Out of all the weapons in the sniper section, the one people fell upon in shocking numbers was the prototype. The famous prototype was the ideal sniper rifle, a one-shot headshot to enemy players even up to the max armor level. A cool design and a through-wall ability. It seemed there was no possibility anything could have ever been more powerful than the prototype. However, whoever thought this was sorely mistaken. Diverting from the trend of weapons that require much experience when using, we fall upon the select few weapons in the game most can designate as spammer weapons. The first to fall into this category was the infamous anti-gravity blaster. In the days before nerfing was commonplace in the Pixel Gun world, this weapon had the ability to either one or two-shot kill a max armored player in the game, with a firing rate faster than the solar-powered cannon and an awesome-looking blue blast. It was your ideal area damage weapon, far more powerful than any previously introduced into the game. A little over a year after the anti-gravity blaster was released, came the infamous laser minigun. Introduced in late 2014, the laser minigun was everything someone who was thirsty for a win could ever dream of. It was basically the prototype and the Automatic Peacemaker rolled into one. With an extremely high firing rate and the through-wall ability, the laser minigun quickly rose to the top in popularity and continues to be a bestseller to this day. Much later, in late summer 2015, a very different weapon was introduced. The Stormhammer. With one of the highest efficiencies ever given to a weapon in the history of Pixel Gun 3D, it was obvious this was good. But just how good? To give a brief comparison, this melee weapon is basically a fire demon with the area damage ability. Before getting nerfed multiple times soon after its release, this weapon had the ability to either 1 or 2-shot kill even the max armored players. In close matches like Silent School, it was a devastating weapon, as having the area damage ability meant not even needing to face enemies in order to kill them. How does that work out? I'm not entirely sure for a melee weapon. However, after numerous nerfs by the developers, it had a sharp decline in popularity. Numerous other spam-like weapons can be listed here as well, some judged as overpowered even, such as the Kaboom, the Plasma Releaser, the Dark Mage Wand, and many others. But what truly is the best weapon in Pixel Gun 3D? In truth, we cannot really say a single weapon is the overall best weapon in every aspect of Pixel Gun 3D gameplay. However, we can narrow the list of well over 100 to just 2. We can divide the maps of Pixel Gun 3D into 2 different types, those types being short range and long range. Each range has its own ultimate weapon, better than all other weapons in those specific maps. To begin, the ultimate weapon for long-range maps happens to already be listed, the Prototype, staying at the top of the line since it was first introduced back in 2014, being one of the first weapons you can obtain in Pixel Gun 3D. It's not one to be blown over. In a map like Sniper Forts, it's not uncommon to find players with 10+ kill streaks while using the Prototype, because it's just that good. So why exactly is this weapon the best of the best for this range of map? Well, as stated before, the key with this weapon is its through-wall ability. Having that paired with a one-shot headshot ability to a max armored player equals devastation to whoever is being shot at. This weapon has very similar stats to the anti-hero rifle, but since you can obtain the Prototype so much sooner, it is obvious that this one is the choice out of the 2 for any beginning player. Maps like Heaven Garden and Parkour City are the perfect places for the Prototype, where you can show your true potential. In these maps, you can find massive kill streaks and magnificent kill-death ratios if you pick a good sniping spot and stick it out until someone finds you. As a side note, this is my personal favorite weapon in Pixel Gun 3D, and arguably the weapon that I use the most, alongside the Dual Hawks. Now, diving into the list of potential candidates for the best weapon in close-range maps, we come to rest on one weapon in particular. An old weapon, introduced a little after the anti-gravity blaster with the original intention of not being all that powerful. This weapon did have the ability to one-shot area damage kill any player that it did come in contact with, but at that time, other area damage weapons like the anti-gravity blaster were clearly better, as they did the same amount of damage much quicker. This weapon is named the Big Buddy. I did a review on the Big Buddy back in late 2014, and much has changed since then. While an increase in armor level usually causes the demise of much of the past great weapons of Pixel Gun 3D, it didn't for the Big Buddy for some peculiar reason. As we found Ruby and then later Adamant Armor being added into the game, the Big Buddy still had its one-shot kill ability, which is why this weapon is given its rightful place as the ultimate weapon for close quarters combat. It is a wonderful weapon that certainly has its weaknesses, like its extremely low reload speed, but overall, it has enough raw power to cannon itself into victory as the best weapon for close range maps of Pixel Gun 3D. So I really hope you guys did enjoy this. I'll have a gameplay with several of the weapons I listed before in the background as I say a few final reminders and last minute remarks. To begin, this video may eventually become outdated. There may very well be an update in the future where the Big Buddy may get nerfed, and another weapon may be added in that is much more powerful than the ones I listed previously. So if you are happening to watch this long into the future and this video is outdated, please understand that. If I do make an updated version of this video, I will have it linked down below in the description so you can easily access it and see a more up-to-date take on the most powerful weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. With that out of the way, I have a few announcements. I am well on my way with my college applications, and I hope to get them done within the next 2 weeks. The next Pixel Gun 3D video released after this will be a very special video, and I am already beginning work on it. That, alongside this video, will probably end up being my most involved videos in terms of editing. I would greatly appreciate it if you could take the time to leave a like and your feedback in the comment section on how this video went, and every little bit helps. I created a script for this video, so that took much time to create, but I do think the end result is much better because I never diverted from the topic of conversation this way. So I hope you guys appreciate it and appreciate the much more time I am putting into my videos to make them a better quality for you all. With that being said, that's pretty much it. Linked in the description, I'll have 3 suggested videos you may want to consider checking out if you like my Pixel Gun content, so go watch them if you have the time. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, as I said before, it would be much appreciated. Again, comment down below any feedback and comment your thoughts on your best weapon in Pixel Gun 3D. If you are new to the channel and this is the first video you have watched, consider subscribing if you like my content for over 300 more Pixel Gun 3D videos for you to enjoy. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.